What would happen in your life if you had way more emotional and behavioral control? Would you lose the weight that you want to lose? Would you get the promotion or start the business? Would you get the relationship? What would happen if you, instead of just living your life the same way day after day, like you may have been, sort of in this autopilot mode, what would happen if you could switch out of autopilot mode and become much more deliberate with the way that you are thinking, feeling, and behaving? Well, I promise you, if you change the way that you think, feel, and behave, you will create dramatically different results than you have been. So here's the thing. What is creating this stagnation? What is creating this feeling of being stuck or not able, or for us to not be able to move forward with our life and all of the aspects within it in the way that we desire to? Well, today I'm going to be breaking down not just what's occurring here, but also what you must be able to discover and bring into your life right now in order for you to have that emotional and behavioral control so that you can pivot in your life and create dramatically new results for yourself. And if you stick around to the end of this training, I have a private free training for you that's going to be the next step to this. This is the catalyst to everything in your life being able to change, simply because you're getting out of autopilot mode, which is this way that you've been finding yourself just thinking and feeling, and this attitude and mood that you have towards yourself and your life, so that you can switch things around, discover this one thing that I'm going to be talking about how to find today, and being able to, within the present moment, create brand new results for yourself. So to dive into this, I've never seen anybody, first of all, visually show how to achieve this pivot in one's life. But this is going to make complete sense if you just follow along till the end of this video. I want you to think about what your life is made up of. Most people will say it's made up of their past, and they've got a future, and then they've got a present moment. Your entire life, however many decades you've been alive, have been made up of this. However many years, decades you're going to be alive, it's going to be made up of this. Now here's the thing. Do you actually have a past? Right? Can you go into your past? Can you change anything? No, you can't. Do you actually have a future? Like, can you go into your future? Can you act within it? Can you change something? You can't. This is all that you have, okay? All that you have is the present moment. And what we must understand is that if we want to get out of this autopilot mode, if we want to be able to dramatically change the way we're thinking, feeling, and behaving, all of our power is going to lie within the here and now. Okay? So when it comes to what we believe our life is made up of, past, future, and the present moment, where does this come into play? It comes into play via the thoughts that you're thinking. So the only time that the past comes into play in your life, the only time when the future comes into play in your life is when you think about it. And again, the only time that you can think about it is within the present moment. So if the present moment is where all of our power lies, then we must be able to reconstruct sort of how we're going about our life. And the way that you are going about your life right now is probably in sort of this programmed way, meaning you wake up, you think very similar thoughts to the thoughts that you thought for the past day, week, year, right? You view yourself and your life in a certain way. You view your past in a certain way. You view your future in a certain way, right? You say, this is how life's been, this is how life's going to be, this is how life is, and this is who I am. And people find themselves in that autopilot mode with this timeline of their life, constantly thinking about it, and they wonder why they're stagnant. Well, it's because if you continue to put in the same inputs, you will continue to get the same outputs. But let's think about this now. So you don't actually have a past, right? You can think about your past. You don't actually have a future. You can think about your future, and you can only do so within the present moment. Now, again, this is arising via the thoughts that you're thinking. So if you're finding yourself stagnant, if you're finding yourself frustrated, you're not getting the results that you desire, you're not moving towards the things that you want to move towards in life, it's because when you wake up, you are thinking these thoughts, and this is in autopilot mode. And most people go out throughout their lives living in autopilot mode, and that's it, right? So the way that they're perceiving their life, the way that they're perceiving themselves, it is what it is. They're believing every single aspect of it. And again, the only way that this can arise is within the present moment via thought. And each one of these lines is a thought. If you were to sit down and if you were to close your eyes and try to meditate, right? This is why so many people have trouble meditating. They think thought after thought after thought after thought, and they can't really be present, right? Because there's only two ways to go about your life. One is either you're constantly thinking and you're caught up in thought and you're identified with those thoughts, or you're present. So you're either thinking or you're not thinking. And all of these thoughts, they're just, the possibilities of what they are infinite. So if you're finding yourself sort of living in autopilot mode, you're feeling stagnant, you're just going throughout your life in the same way with the same attitude, same mood, same behaviors, it's because you're thinking these thoughts and they're arising one after another and you are believing in them. So for instance, when you worry about something that could happen in the future within the present moment, you feel the worry that comes along with it. You feel the fear. You're fearing the doubt, the judgment, the failure, the obstacles, etc. This is where most people are finding themselves living in. Just completely going throughout their lives with whatever is occurring within their mind. Again, you're thinking all of this within the present moment. So how do we get out of autopilot mode? Like, if you stay thinking the same way and feeling the same way and behaving the same way that you've always been, you will not create dramatically different results. So how do we create dramatically different results? Well, first of all, it comes from emotional and behavioral control. And if it's these thoughts, these worries, these regrets, whatever it may be, if this is what's making you feel a certain way and behave a certain way, then all that we must do is get out of this. Okay? So again, if you were to close your eyes, you'll notice thoughts arise, thoughts fall, arise, fall, arise, fall, arise, fall, constantly. And most people are simply identified with those thoughts, and they don't even realize that they're thinking. The thing is that these thoughts are painting a picture of reality. You are viewing yourself, you are viewing your life, you're viewing your past, future, present, all through these thoughts, and it's your paradigm. Right? It is a lens in which you see the world. And if you were able to change that lens, every single thing will change for you. Altering your paradigm is the key to getting out of autopilot mode, being more present, having more thought, emotional, and behavioral control so that you can create dramatically different results in your life. So the first part of this is understanding the mental aspect of this. The second part, which is in that free training that you're going to be getting, is going to be how do we use this mental aspect? How do we get out of autopilot mode, which we're going to talk about right now, and how do we literally start to feel differently, behave differently, start believing in ourselves, start believing in our future and the possibilities for us, no longer limiting ourselves based off of our past performance, etc., right? So again, the mental aspect of this is that most people are simply living here. Thought after thought after thought after thought, all of these feelings come along with it, and those behaviors are aligned with those thoughts, right? So let's do this. Thoughts, feelings, behaviors. Okay, so when you're in autopilot mode, all of this is occurring. Again, you can only either be thinking thoughts or not thinking thoughts. So what happens when there is a gap in between thoughts? What if this autopilot mode sort of subsides, it goes away, and you're able to view yourself and your life outside of it? When you're able to witness this autopilot mode for what it really is. It's just thoughts arising within the present moment. They don't need to color your sort of painting of reality, the lens in which you're seeing the world. When you can have a gap in between thoughts, you can change your perspective of the thoughts. You can change your perspective of this whole notion that you continue to tell yourself of who you are and how life is and how life's going to be. This gap is called presence. Most people never really become present. You know, when people do extreme sports and they do, they're jumping out of airplanes and things like that, why are they doing that? It gets them into the moment, right? Time slows down, they say. All that they are focused on is them soaring towards the ground, that freedom. It's literally this high that people are getting simply from presence. So when we can achieve presence within our minds, within the present moment, because that's the only time that any of this can happen anyways, we can get ourselves out of autopilot mode. We can start to, from then on, think, feel, and behave differently. And that is the key to you getting what you want out of life. But here's the interesting thing about this. You want to get out of autopilot mode, where you're stagnant, you're stuck, you're fearful, you're doubtful, you're pessimistic, etc. Right? And you want to get into a mode where you're more confident, where you are optimistic, where you believe in yourself, where you have a different view of the future and of yourself and of your potential. You want to go from here to here. And again, the way that we can switch gears here is through presence. And a great analogy of this is when you're in a car and you're going in reverse, right? That's like being in autopilot mode. Like if you feel like things aren't working out for you, you feel like it's just everything's difficult, well, you're sort of driving a car in reverse. And a lot of people, especially when they're doing personal development, they're trying to go from reverse and into drive. They're trying to go from here to here, right? This huge gap, here to here. They're trying to go from reverse into drive. Reverse, drive. What's the issue with this? Well, if you've ever tried to go from reverse and into drive in a car, you can't just go in reverse with your foot on the gas pedal and then slam the shifter into drive. You need to completely slow down the car. You need to stop going in reverse. You need to put the shifter into neutral. Neutral. And then you can move the shifter into drive. This is the key to gaining emotional and behavioral control within your life and getting everything that you want. But here's what's so interesting about this is that if you were to be able to start acting, thinking, feeling, and acting in this way, after slowing down autopilot mode, getting out of it and going into drive, why are you doing this? Well, the reason why you want to think, feel, and behave differently is because you want to achieve certain things. You are telling yourself that if you lose a certain amount of weight, you will be able to feel a certain way in the future. If you're able to gain a certain amount of muscle or have a certain body or have a certain relationship or career or business, then you will be able to be okay. Then everything in your life will be all right. Then you'll be able to feel good about yourself. Then you'll be able to live the life that you want. You'll be able to have fun. You'll be able to sort of let loose, right? That's why you want to do all of this. It's all because you want to feel a certain way. The thing is that what you're desiring is presence. What you are desiring to happen in the future, all of this strain that you're putting on yourself, it's all because you want to feel whole. You want to feel fulfilled. You want to feel like everything's okay. You want to be able to have certain results that you can accept and that you can be totally okay with. So the thing is that what you're desiring actually comes about through presence. So I get you want to think and feel and behave a certain way. You want to achieve certain things. That's fantastic. But the reason why you want to do it is so that you can feel a certain way. And the thing is that this contains every single thing that you desire. You finally feeling like you are a good person. Like you can do great things. Like the world is your oyster. And the only time that this can come into your life is within the present moment. So the question is, again, how do we bring it into our life? Well, again, it occurs between thoughts. This whole gap is just you just being. This is autopilot mode, thought after thought after thought after thought. This is neutral presence, where you are just sort of being in the space that is in between thoughts. This is the pivot point to you being able to think, feel, and behave better, going from reverse into neutral and then into drive. And it's also the exact thing that you desire anyways. You just want to relax. You want to feel like everything's okay. Okay? This is the space that will not only allow you to change your thoughts, feeling, and behaviors, but it is the catalyst to you actually doing so. And you actually enjoying your life while you are on this journey, while you are progressing towards your dreams. Simply being here, being more present, and then taking control over your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. So the next training that I have for you is going to show you how to use all of this, how to actually bring about presence into your life beyond this short description of the fact that it is the space in between thoughts, but it's going to show you how does this occur? How do we actually think, feel, and behave differently and create brand new results? Listen, the only time that it can happen is within the present moment. You cannot do something now in order to think, feel, and behave a certain way in the future. All that you have is right now. So the question is, how do we bring that into our life now? And that is what this free training that I have for you is going to show you. I'm going to put it up here. I'll also put it in the description. It's only for people who understand this and they're ready for the next step. But real quick, I want you to pay attention because your autopilot mode probably just kicked in when I offered this training for you. This isn't just a regular training. This is literally the catalyst to dozens upon dozens upon dozens of people altering the trajectory of their life for good simply because they understood how to achieve this state and how to do it through presence and how to bring about the exact thing that they desire into their lives right now. Notice what's occurring within autopilot mode. Are you trying to convince yourself that you should just watch an entertainment video right now? Are you trying to convince yourself that you have more important things to do than literally the exact thing that you need to do in order to completely change your life around? You need to be aware of autopilot mode. You need to notice what you're thinking. You need to notice the way that it's making you feel, and you need to notice the behaviors that would naturally align with it. Don't procrastinate on this. It is time for you, with this knowledge, to alter the trajectory of your life. If you are ready for change, if you are willing to enter the unknown, right, into a territory that you haven't been before, which is the only way that change can come about, then click the link in the description. It's a private YouTube video where I'm going to show you how to bring about presence into your life and how to achieve this state so that everything that you desire that's possible for you is truly possible. But it's not going to be possible if you stay in this state. You have to get out of it. So click below and enjoy the training. Please like this, share it with somebody who may need it, and comment below any questions that you have. I'm going to answer every single one of them. I appreciate you. I'll see you in the training.